As the Honkai Star Rail 3.4 grip marketing information revealed some time ago, many characters will be present in version 3.4, including a character named Phainon. Although Phainon was released at the same time as the collaboration event, it has remained one of the most anticipated characters since his first appearance in version 3.0. According to rumors, Phainon has an interesting skill set. He is predicted to be a DPS character with a unique ultimate mechanic and several forms in battle. This opens up the potential for new team compositions in the upcoming meta. So the key question is, can Phainon be a future DPS meta character? Without further ado, I'm Hoyostation and we will break down Phainon'S early kit. Let's do this. Before we continue the video, I want to tell you some super important information that you should know, guys. It's about Top Up Live. Top Up Live is a trusted top-up service offering a variety of your favorite top games such as Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and Zenless Zone Zero. As a global platform, Top Up Live offers a variety of popular local and international live streaming and game top-ups. Game cards, gift cards, and game CD keys with digital catalog has over 3,000 game channels. Supported by 70 international partners and more than 126 gaming communities worldwide. Of course, Top Up Live also offers the best prices up to 25% off, which means you can get much cheaper prices than you can get today. Still not enough, you can enter the promo code at the time of purchase and get an additional sweet 8% discount. Still not sure about Top Up Live? Do not worry, Top Up Live is a leading global brand with over 10 years of experience specializing in providing online game stores and distribution platforms for live streamers, gamers, game developers, and publishers. Of course, it's 100% legit. So what are you waiting for? Start using Top Up Live right now. Okay, before we continue, I'd like to remind you that the kit I'm presenting in this video is an early release, meaning there's a good chance it will undergo changes in the future. Now, let's discuss the initial Phainon version 3.4 kit. We will start with the ultimate part, because in my opinion, it's one of the most important parts of the kit. Rumor has it that Phainon'S ultimate effect will consume 12 points from a special stack called Memory, and trigger a special territory effect called Chronos Ruin Iron Tome. After that, Phainon will transform and gain 4 stacks of Ruin. During transformation mode, Phainon gains many interesting buffs. Immunity to crowd control debuffs, increased attack and maximum HP, reduced damage received, and increased toughness damage. All his buffs are also extended by 1 turn. Another interesting thing is that when this effect takes place, all teammates will leave the field. While in the territory, all enemies will have physical weakness, and Phainon will have 8 fixed turns in the action order. Once all the special turns have ended, Phainon immediately leaves territory and transformation mode. His teammates return to the field and their speed increases. Unfortunately, we have not yet received information about the action value between each of his special turns. However, we know that the duration of existing buff or debuff effects will not be reduced during his special turns. This automatically means that if the enemy has defense reduction debuff, the debuff's duration will not be reduced during Phainon'S special turn. This means that Phainon can continue to deal maximum damage during this turn. At first glance, his ultimate kit is certainly beneficial to Phainon, as he receives many useful buffs when he enters his special turn. One interesting buff is that it gives the enemy physical weakness as long as Phainon'S territory still exists. This allows Phainon to be used against enemies that do not have physical weakness. Another interesting point lies in the special turn mechanic, the latest in Honkai Star Rail. So far, no other character in Honkai Star Rail has similar mechanic besides Phainon. This is similar to Apocalyptic Shadow 3.2, when fighting the Hule boss. We enter duel mode, where we can only choose one character to fight Hule one-on-one. Not to forget, we will also discuss his basic attack, which deals physical damage to one enemy and gets 1 memory point. Meanwhile, his skill will deal blast-type physical damage to 3 enemies, as well as 2 memory points. These 2 skills both help Phainon to fill his memory points, although I'm pretty sure the damage from these 2 attacks is not too impactful. Oh yeah, after transforming, his basic attack, skill, and ultimate will also change. His enhanced basic attack will give physical blast damage to 3 enemies and produce 2 ruin marks. These ruin marks function as special skill points during active territory. Consuming or acquiring a ruin mark is equivalent to consuming a skill point. and the maximum amount that can be stored is 6 ruin marks. The difference between ruin and a skill point lies in the user. Ruin can only be used by Phainon because in transformation form only Phainon is on the field. Furthermore, Phainon has two versions of the enhanced skill section. In the first version, Phainon immediately forces all enemies into action. Then he will get additional ruin equivalent to the number of enemies in battle and fill HP when removing all debuffs. Then Phainon will gain counter status until the next special turn. Interestingly, when attacked by enemies, Phainon will counterattack with physical damage to all enemies. This counter damage is counted as skill damage. There are some interesting points to this first version of enhanced skills. First, Phainon gets ruin based on the number of enemies. If there are 5 enemies on the field, Phainon immediately gets 5 ruin, equivalent to 5 direct skill points. These points can be used to activate the second versions of the enhanced skill, which requires a lot of ruin. Second, Phainon is the second limited character after Yunli with the counter mechanic in Honkai Star Rail. However, Phainon's counterattack is slightly overpowered because it forces the enemy to act, automatically triggering a counterattack. Lastly, the counter damage generated through this skill counts as skill damage. Therefore, buffs such as increased skill damage from Blessing Divergent Universe or his signature Lightcon will increase the damage of this counter mechanic. Next, we will discuss the second version of his enhanced skill. This version consumes 4 ruin marks, with each ruin providing 4 hits of physical bounce damage. Using 4 ruin marks for this skill will result in an additional hit being given to all enemies. An important note about this skill is that we can use it even if you don't have 4 ruin marks. However, we won't receive additional damage, which will decrease the total damage from Phainon. This skill is similar to Danheng Il's enhanced skill in that they both have several stages. The difference is that Phainon uses a special skill point called a ruin mark, which allows teammates' skill points to be used uninterrupted. Next is his enhanced ultimate, which automatically triggers at the end of a special turn. It will deal physical damage to all enemies, which will be split between them. Then he will exit territory and transformation. If Phainon's HP is lower than a certain limit, trigger the enhanced ultimate early. In this case, the damage multiplier will be reduced. The effect of the enhanced ultimate is similar to the turn duration of Castra's Netherwing, which also has a maximum turn or HP limit. If Phainon's HP is below a certain limit, which I assume is quite low, Phainon will trigger this skill and immediately leave the territory and transformation. Enhanced ultimate is useful for preventing Phainon from losing during the special turn because this condition is fatal. During the special turn, only Phainon can act. Well, after we briefly discuss his ultimate, we will resume talking about Phainon's talent. When other teammates use skills that target or buff Phainon, he gains 1 memory point. Phainon gains 1 memory point when hit by an enemy attack. Memory points can stack up to a maximum of 15. As he gains memory points, his critical damage increases. Once he reaches 12 memory points, he can use his ultimate. This talent is useful for activating Phainon's ultimate because Phainon gains memory points when teammates buff him. This talent will benefit the skill effect of Sunday, Sparkle, Bronya, Ruanmei, and Shribi. Even healers like Huohuo's ultimate will help fill Phainon's memory points. From this talent alone, we can predict suitable relics and teammates to pair with Phainon, right? The latest relic effect, Wave Star Captain, which will be present in version 3.3, also very suitable for Phainon. 2 sets increase critical damage by 16%, and 4 sets provide stack help when the user becomes the target of a teammate's skill. Up to 2 stack helps can be obtained. If the user has 2 stack help when launching the ultimate, all stack helps will consumed and the user's attack will increase by 48% for 1 turn. This effect is of course compatible with Phainon, who can increase its duration to 2 turns thanks to his transformation mode. Now, we will move on to the technique section, which has an equally impressive effect. When Phainon is on the team, the maximum technique points increase by 3, making the total maximum technique points that can be stored 8. When we use his technique, we will consume 2 technique points to defeat all normal enemies within range. Of course, it's pretty similar with Acheron's technique, which can deliver same effect. However, Phainon can defeat all normal enemies directly, as long as they are within his range. Until now, no other character has had a similar effect. So, of course, this effect is incredibly good. Besides that, when we're entering a battle with elite enemies, all teammates will replenish their energy. When entering the territory for the first time, you will also gain 2 additional rain marks. At first glance, we already know that the effect of this ultimate is really good. It can defeat all enemies instantly without having to enter battle first, which makes the process of farming materials much easier. Although this technique uses 2 technique points, but I think it's quite reasonable. Okay guys, now we will move on to another interesting part, which is his traces. His minor traces provide additional critical damage, attack percentage, and speed. I know we don't know the details yet about how much we can get through these traces, but these 3 stats are generally suitable for Phainon, especially speed, who will have the role of main DPS. Okay, first, we will discuss his first trace effect. When Phainon enters battle or his territory, his attack increases and can be stacked up to 2 times, lasting for 2 turns. I know this effect is quite simple and straightforward, however, this effect is interesting because the buff can be active consistently. Next, the second trace effect increases Phainon'S damage for 2 turns when he receives a heal or shield from another teammates. Of course, currently we don't know how much damage percentage is increased through these traces. However, with this trace, it indicates that we must have at least 1 healer or 1 shieldar on our team so that Phainon receives increased damage through this trace. And lastly, the third trace has an effect when teammates charge energy for Phainon, he will get 1 additional memory point. This effect can be triggered once per turn and resets at the start of each Phainon'S turn. Okay, quick notes from me that this trace will make some characters will get along well with him, such as Sunday, Huohuo, and even Ting Yun, who can replenish another character's energy. Interesting, right? Alright guys, after we discuss his traces, we will move on to Phainon'S EIDOLON, which is super interesting. For EIDOLON 1, when in territory, his physical resistance penetration will increase. When leaving the territory, all teammates will regain energy. Honestly, this EIDOLON effect is quite interesting. At first glance, it looks ordinary, I know, but it's quite powerful. With EIDOLON 1, it's clear that Phainon'S damage output will increase drastically due to the addition of physical resistance penetration. When combined with his territory effect, which provides physical weakness, Phainon remains effective against enemies without innate physical weakness. Additionally, after the territory ends, all teammates will regain energy, meaning this EIDOLON's effect benefits not only Phainon, but also his teammates. For EIDOLON 2, Phainon'S damage increases from its original value in transformation mode. If the second version of the enhanced skill consumes 4 win marks, Phainon gets an extra turn after attacking. This EIDOLON's effect is interesting because it gives an additional turn after Phainon launches the second version of the enhanced skill with at least 4 win marks. Of course, this will increase his output damage coupled with Phainon'S increased damage in transformation mode, which is the main source of damage in his kit. Next is EIDOLON 4. EIDOLON 4 has the damage counter effect from enhanced skill version 1 and gets an additional percentage multiplier. The effect of EIDOLON 4 obviously increases the damage output of the damage counter, the percentage of which is still unknown. However, keep in mind that this EIDOLON 4 effect only increases counter damage generated through the first version of the enhanced skill. And the last is the effect of EIDOLON 6. While in territory and after attacking the enemy, gives an additional true damage equal to percentage of the total damage given by the attack to the target that has the highest HP of the attacked enemy. After leaving the territory, gain memory points. The effect of EIDOLON 6 is similar to Tribi's EIDOLON 1, which will give true damage to the enemy with the highest HP among the enemies attacked, which will make the damage output of Phainon even greater, especially for elite or boss type enemies. Coupled with the cashback memory point that we get after the territory ends, it will allow Phainon to launch the next ultimate faster. With this EIDOLON 6, we will be faster to defeat elite or boss enemies due to the additional true damage provided. Interesting, right? The last segment of this video is about Phainon'S signature light cone. This signature allows all user attacks to ignore target's defense. When the user uses the ultimate, they will receive the Lost effect, which increases the damage of the skill and ultimate. When the user is attacked, they will immediately receive recovery until their next initial turn. This light cone's effect is very suitable for Phainon because it increases skill and ultimate damage, as well as HP recovery when attacked by the enemy. This makes Phainon'S more sustainable. Additionally, since the counter damage he deals through enhanced skills will count as a skill damage, this Lantcon will also increase his counter damage. However, this Lantcon has one disadvantage: it does not increase the critical value. So we need a lot of critical value, such as critical rate, through a good relic to build this character well. Okay guys, maybe that's all the information you need about Phainon'S. What do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to check out my other videos because they are just as cool. Thanks for watching, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video.